I hope that you all can hear me. Shall we just look at the okay. First of all, what I will do is I will briefly discuss the course management accounting ACC 2340 the course code offered by the Refinement Accounting. Uh, course has basically four segments: introduction to management accounting and management accounting techniques. We will discuss the decision making techniques, planning and controlling techniques, and performance evaluation. For this, of course, we hope that the knowledge what you gathered under GC advanced level would be helpful. So basically three areas in syllabus: MA and MA techniques, decision making, planning control, and performance evaluation. Basically, we are discussing decision making, planning, performance. Course aims, so we are expecting to develop students' knowledge and skills regarding the costing of product and services. So how to cost a product or service, using MA information for decision making, how we can use management accounting information for decision making, and also planning and management control, revenue management and pricing, of course. Then the finally performance measurements and evaluation in various business contexts. So we have 5 objectives. We basically discuss how to the techniques knowledge which are required to costing a product or service, how we can use the management accounting information for decision making, and also how we can use the management accounting information for planning, management control, and revenue management pricing. Finally, we will focus on performance measurements in different business uh, areas or business context, maybe service, maybe manufacturing, maybe banking sector, performance measurements. The course learning outcomes, that is, after completing successfully this particular course, you will be able to, discuss the nature and role of management accounting, costing and management accounting techniques, managerial decision, planning and controlling, measurement and control business performance, and evaluate the performance. Those are the learning outcome. So you need to understand the learning outcome as well. This is the lecture panel. Of course, we have a team of members from the accounting department, including myself. I am Dayananda Abbalangoduke. Then for this group, what we will do is there are 2 lecturers, myself and Professor Dilipa and Samudrage will deliver the lecture. Other groups will, addressed by different lecturers, pair of lecturers. Session plan, of course. So dates also given specific. We hope that we will be able to deliver the lectures on these dates. Chapter 1, of course, as per your course manual, we have the chapter 1 overview of management accounting. Then the second day, cost concept and classification and estimations. Third day, cost assignment, cost method and job costing method and process costing. Then cost volume profit analysis, budgeting, standard costing, organizational performance, measurements and performance measurements in non-profit organizations. Those are the chapters or the basic topics we are going to cover up. Okay, so we recommend a textbooks that is two things. You have the course manual. I don't think that you have the course manual, but chapter wise the chapters of the course manual will be uploaded to the LMS in addition to the lecture material or the slide presentation. So lecture materials will be available on the LMS course. Then the recommended reading is Durisi, 2018, the Cost and Management Accounting, 10th edition, Delhi, Cengage Learning, the text which is available in the library. Then assign assessment method, of course, so we will be giving you a group-based project report, 25. We have the midterm test, 15 marks, and also final examination, 60 marks. So basically, group-based project reports, midterm test, and final examinations, these are the three modes of evaluation. Attendance is course policies. We hope that all students will attend the lectures, information announcements. You have to continuously look for the LMS like the notice board. All updated information, all relevant information will be available on the LMS. Academic integrity, not copying, plagiarism, all will appreciate. Academic integrity is one ethical behavior, and also the classroom behavior, no need to explain. So with that, if you have any question, of course you can ask now, otherwise I will move on to the session today. So what I did was, now I just basically very briefly introduce, explain in summary form the course, the management accounting course. Okay, then can I go to the next today's session? Of course, yes. What is the today's session? Yes, this one. I hope that you all can see the screen again. Chapter overview of management accounting. So we will start in the today's session by overview of management accounting. Overview means we are here trying to give you a background in which we deliver the subject or the content what we are going to discuss throughout this course will be introduced in this particular overview of management account. We are just creating a playground. We are just creating a background. We are just creating an introduction to the management accounting to deliver the next chapters. Okay, we have as usual session objectives. At the end of these sessions, you will be able to distinguish between management accounting and financial accounting. We are trying to distinguish, separate, identify differences of management accounting and financial accounting. And we will be discussing the decision making process and also explain the important changes that have been taken in the business environment, which is really influencing management accounting practices. The environmental changes taken place in the environment will be discussed. identify and describe the functions of cost and management accounting. So what is the functions of cost and management accounting or the management accounting? And also we will be discussing international convergence of management accounting, identify importance ethics in M. And also we will discuss this little bit history about management accounting too. All right, coming back to the accounting, when you look at the accounting, so 1967 definition, it focuses on a process of identifying, measuring, communicating economic information to permit information, judgments, and decision by users of information. So thereby basically, we look at the accounting as a process, a system. In a process, you have the input, you have the process, you have the output, and that is in a business environment. So I think you can remember the process. For example, I would say that when you look at this this thing, you can consider it as so there you get the input, something like this. Then these inputs are really processed by a particular system. Then you get the again output. So that is the basic. So you have the input, what is in, right? You have the what is in, you have the process, that is P, and you have the output, what is out. For example, the output is the final this thing. So in, process, output, input, output, process. And you have to remember, this will be taken place not in a vacuum, but in an environment. So environment is here. So thereby what I want to communicate to you is that you take the input from the environment. For example, basically, if you want to understand basic inputs of a say yogurt manufacturer, so inputs are taken from the environment. Farm, milk from the farm, whatever the packing material from the environment. So then they process it, maybe different flavor, maybe without adding sugar, maybe adding different colors to the milk or the yogurt. So thereby there is a process taken place, and once the process complete, you get the output, maybe as yogurt, maybe milk, bottle, whatever. And that output also again released to the environment. We consume, you release it to the environment. So thereby what I want to communicate to you is that whatever the process we discuss will be taken place in the environment. When you take management accounting or the accounting, we take it as a process. So thereby, data, inputs, because we produce information. So thereby our inputs are data, maybe financial data, maybe non-financial data, maybe historical data, maybe past data, maybe future-oriented data, whatever the data. Data may be available from the organization what we are discussing, or may be available from the outside the organization. So thereby, what I'm trying to say is that data is from the environment. Data is from the environment. When you have a more sophisticated IT-based data capturing system, then inputting data is much more easy to the accounting system. For example, when you go to a supermarket, post counter, the cashier's counter, point of sales counter captures the data, sales data. Not only the sales data, when they recognize the sales information of their food city or supermarket, so automatically their inventories also will be updated. So that's input. You can understand the manual inputs. There may be inputs in manual, there may be inputs in terms of technology based. I think in present environment, technology will play a critical role when inserting data to the system. In the process part, what they happen here is they identify, they measure it, they communicate, they categorize, they record it. So inside the process, there are different actions, there are different activities are taken place depending on the output, depending on the final product, what you are expecting. So basically, I can't remember. I can't understand this message. Mage atin වැරදියට management accounting. Prana.
Excuse me.
Yeah. You can talk to me.
මේ මගේ අතින් වැරදිලා මේ management accounting මේ පරණ subject එකකටත් මේ අවුරුදු දෙකකට මේ enroll වුණා.
ඒක කමන්නේ. දැන් ඔයා මේකට විශ්ව වුණාද? කමන්නේ. No problem.
ඕක හරි සර්. ඕකටත් enroll වුණා.
No problem. මේ පරණ එක ගණන් ගන්න එපා. You just focus on the new one. පරණ එකට හැබැයි යන්න විදියක් නැහැ. I don't think you can go to the old one.
ඒකේ තිබ්බේ සර් මේ පරණ ඒවා ටිකක් තිබ්බේ මේ කලින් ගන්න පිළිවෙල.
Right. Okay.
හරි සර්. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Right. Then so I hope that you understood the meaning of process, meaning of the process. So it's in the environment. Maybe if you look at the financial accounting, output is financial statement. To get the final output, you have to enter basic data about data related to income, data related to revenue, data related to expenses, data related to assets, liabilities, depreciations. All these data is required for preparation of financial statement. So thereby you look at the accounting from the system perspective. Now here the definition is we are looking at the accounting, the definition from the system perspective. So you can define whatever the concept from different perspective. Here the perspective is system perspective. 1967, very old definition from American Accounting Associations. So you can say accounting is just producing information. Again, it's a meaning of meaning. It's a definition. So you can look at the accounting from different perspective. Right. The main uses of accounting information, divide into two parts. There are internal users like management, people inside the people who are really access to the information, that is management accounting. External parties outside the organization means really people who are not having the access to the data. Here the external parties outside means outside and internal, within the internal means within the business. Okay, right. So we just so thereby, as per Dury 2018, the definition earlier we gave you the definition general 1967. Now the definition by Dury 2018 textbooks is concerned, management accounting is concerned with the provision of information to people within the organization to help them make better decision and improve the efficiency and effectiveness existing operations. So thereby, when you look at the management accounting, it's very clear the whatever the information which is important for us to improve our operation coming under the management account. So thereby, it's not really, we don't know what type of information, whether it is financial, non-financial, forecasted, quantitative, qualitative. It's not really defined. We whatever the information, provision of information is coming under the management accounting, but ultimate objective of this information should have the capacity. Whatever the information you produce on the management accounting should have the capacity to improve, efficiency and effectiveness of operations. If you take a, food city channel, so they are to improve maybe pricing decisions, maybe product availability decisions, maybe inventory decisions, maybe additional investment decisions, maybe you are going to introduce additional product to the supermarket, additional service to the product supermarket, maybe you are trying to analyze the employee cost or whatever. You focus, you take information with the expectation of improving organizational performance for the operations. So thereby, management accounting is there. It's a kind of tool. You can say management accounting is a tool which help managers to improve the business, to get the competitive advantage. It helps you to implement strategies. It helps you to implement your plans. It helps you to control your resources. It helps you to evaluate your performance. So thereby, you can say management accounting from different perspective. So that's why I'm telling you, always when you try to define something, always definition will focus on one perspective, right? So here the focus is, if you look at the Dury's perspective, the ultimate objective of management account is focusing. What is the ultimate objective of management accounting is to improve the operation. So you can say management accounting is to, implement plan as it is. You can say management accounting is to ensure performance. Management accounting is to control the resources. So likewise, you can describe, you can explain the management accounting from different perspectives. But here we are giving the Dury's the definition from 2018 text. Right. Just to think, just to make you, make you active, we have put one activity. So can you just think about the differences of financial accounting and management accounting? We have given few aspects, but here only just for the lecturing purposes, given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 variables are given. So based on these 7 variables, you can, compare what is management accounting, what is financial accounting, or you can, if you want, you can add more variables. It doesn't matter. Just to recapture, just to differentiate between these two, we have used these 7 labels or the aspects of financial account, management accounting and financial accounting. So just think about what is the focus user group. And if what you can do is you can use the Excel sheet and just put that into my chat box. If you want, you can do it. Otherwise, I will give 2-3 minutes, 2 minutes. Just think about. Yes. Focused user group, nature of information, reporting entity, frequency of reports, format of reports, legal requirement, applicability of accounting standards. One thirty, I will start again. I'm just giving you to think a little bit. If you want, you can write whatever you want here. Focus group. Don't worry. You write whatever you think. No problem. No problem. This is just to, understand the difference between this exercise is to understand the management accounting and financial account. Yeah, just comparing, just comparing. It's 1:30. No one is putting any answer. Good. So shall we continue? I have the answer. We have the answers to be discussed. Focus group, internal, external, outside, internal stakeholders. We are mainly focusing on managers, marketing managers, production managers, whatever the people who are really, yes. Yes, good. I saw that someone is answering, yes, external, good. But when you take the nature of information, historical and financial information, yes, historical, current, financial, non-financial, very good. You are correct. Historical, current, and forecasted financial, non-financial information. But what I want to communicate to you is that basically, when you look at the subject, when you look at the textbooks, of course, you can get this information. But my idea or my opinion is little bit different now. When you read little bit further, the advanced accounting, management accounting, reading, so you may reject some of these, differences. Now, when you look at the nature of information, okay, nature of information in financial accounting, event is historical. Event is historical, but you may consider information of future-oriented information. For example, suppose you are going to make a provision. When you are going to make a provision, what you do is you will make an estimate. You are making estimates. In accounting, there is accounting standards. I think you can remember. Change in accounting policy and accounting estimate standard. So thereby, in financial accounting, event may be historical, but information, what you are going to use to quantify, to make it convert into money, information may be, relevant to the future. Here, of course, we have given both, forecasted, current, historical, non-financial information. The reporting entity in management, in financial accounting, of course, reporting entity, we consider as a, as a whole. We may prepare the financial statement for a branch. We may prepare the financial statement for a particular company. We may prepare the financial statement for a, group of companies. So reporting entity. But when it comes to management accounting, you are not focusing the total business. Depending on the information requirement, you prepare reports. Maybe production management wants to know each product manufacturing cost, each product material cost, each product or the component of a product. Suppose you are producing what do you call this, carbon, this pen. When you produce this pen, it has different elements. You have the clip, you have the particular, main product and other material, other segments. So a particular management interested in knowing the cost of a product, different parts of this product. So thereby, the management accountant should provide information not as organization as a whole. He or she must provide information according to the requirement of the customer, or the requirement of the manager, or the requirement of the management, or requirement of the branch. That's why here we are putting reports for the entity, segment, department, product, etc. There is no particular unit, but you have to produce information. Then frequency of reports, basically, we prepare the annually, quarterly, if the Colombo Stock Exchange requirements, quarterly, maybe annually. And also here, demand. When management demand, we need to provide. When management asks, we have to provide management accounting information. When marketing manager is asking product-wise profitability analysis, product A, product B, product C, product D, we have to give. That is on demand. Format of reports, when you look at the financial statement, of course, there is a particular framework, there is a particular set of accounting standards, but when you say management accounting, there is no particular rigid framework. The reports may prepare depending on the requirement and the knowledge, skills of the management accountant, the producer, both so influence, right? Then the legal requirement, of course, for the financial accounting, legal requirement, there is no such legal requirement. And finally, applicability of the particular, accounting standard should comply with the accounting, no such accounting standards. Okay. Those are the differences, basically, by just looking at the appearance of financial accounting and management accounting. But what is the similarities? Are there any similarities in management accounting and financial accounting? I think yes. So there will be a link. In certain cases, financial accounting may provide certain information for management accounting, and management accounting will provide certain information for financial accounting. So thereby, you have to understand there is a close relationship between these two. For example, suppose you manufacture what do you call this, mobile phone. When you manufacture mobile phone, when you prepare the financial statement at a time, there are unsold items, unsold mobile items. So unsold mobile items should be valued as inventory. I think you can remember the accounting standard of inventory, LKS 2, I think. So as per LKS 2, you need to value these inventories. Otherwise, you can't calculate the gross profit. So to calculate the gross profit, to calculate the inventory, to value the inventory, to measure the inventory, from where you get the, as financial accountant, you need to prepare the P&L or the income statement, but you can't prepare the P&L or the income statement, or you can't calculate the profit without knowing the value of the inventory. So thereby, the management accounting will help you to value the inventory. So they have different segments: material cost, labor cost, and the manufacturing cost. So unique cost, you can get the unique cost of a product. So thereby it will facilitate you to evaluate, value or the measure the closing inventory. Thereby financial accountant will really be easy. He is much more comfortable with calculating the profit. So thereby there is a link between financial accounting and management accounting. That's what I just want to highlight. If you have any question so far, I can. Oh yes. Then we will be discussing the decision-making process, the rational process, decision-making, planning, and control. When you take the decision-making, of course, there you have only two things. One is the planning, other one is the control. There are two elements in the decision-making. So you plan, you control. So why you plan means you prepare, you evaluate, you think about different alternatives, you select the best option and you implement. Once you implement, you need to look at whether we achieve the expected or desired output. You compare actuals with the expected objectives. So that is the control. So anyway, if you look at this chart, it has two elements: planning process, control process. You see, there are 6 elements as per the Colin Dury. There are 6 elements as per the Colin Dury. Separate 6 elements. Separate 6 elements. Okay. Identify objectives. You should understand your problem and what you need at the end by taking the decision. What is your expectation? Then search for alternative course of action. You have to remember, always we make the decision because of a problem. If there is a problem, we take decisions. Now in the country, dollar, there is a crisis, economic crisis, that's a problem. So when there is a problem, we discuss, there are opportunities for us to make decisions. So always decisions we take because of the problem. Now, for example, when we travel, when our vehicle, whatever there may be, the motorcycle or our public transport, the bus or our own vehicle, suppose a breakdown. Now it's a problem. You can't go your expected destinations because of the breakdown or the problem in your vehicle. So you have to take action, right? But your objective is to reach the particular destination at a particular time, maybe 7 o'clock in the morning. Now 6 o'clock, you need to travel, but your vehicle is not working. So then you think about alternative. One alternative means just quickly hiring another vehicle, or just take another mode of transport. Maybe you may use the railway station. You go to the station and use the train, or you might call a person, your friends close by, and tell the story, your situation, and you tell that I need help. I want to go to this place. I have to be 7 o'clock. Can you help me? So likewise, when there is a gap, when there is a problem, there are alternatives. So when you list the alternative, more the merrier. More the merrier means when you have a problem, better to think about all possible alternatives. That's why we ask students to ask questions. But when you ask questions, you are trying to point out one alternative. Never mind whether it is a good idea or bad idea. Just tell your feeling. Just express your thinking. So that's the important point. So thereby what I want to communicate to you is that when you have identified the objectives, to reach that objective, to fill that gap, to solve that problem, there are so many, there are many alternatives. ඔබට මතක ඇති අර මීදු හාමුදුරුවෝ ඇවිල්ලා අහන්නේ මේ අඹ ගස ඇර වෙන අඹ ගස ඇද්ද? මේ අඹ ගස ඇර වෙන අඹ ගස ඇද්ද? That's kind of, alternatives. Okay, anyway, search for alternative course of action. As I told you, when there is a problem, when there is an issue, when there is a, expectation, when there is a target, to achieve that target, there is no only one, there are so many alternatives, there are so many paths. So what we have to do is, as management accountant, we should be in a position, as management team in the organization should be in a position to identify alternative sources, alternative, course of actions. Then certain alternative courses, actions, you may by appearance, you see that, oh, okay, this is not practical, this is not possible this time, this we can't do this time. No. Likewise, you can screen out. You can screen out. We call it the evaluation. Certain alternatives we can simply evaluate by looking at the appearance, by just having a small discussion, not a lengthy discussion, by not collecting much more information. But when you see the certain alternatives, once you finalize certain alternatives, when there is a huge investment, of course, alternatives should be evaluated. Now, for example, you can remember the president's story, Kabanika Pohara. No? So if you are going to use it, so you have to collect more information and evaluate it and implement. Without implementing, without getting data, without understanding the ground level situation. So when you implement it, the people will suffer. If the decision is micro people, few people will suffer. If the decision is macro level, whole country will suffer. You have to understand. It depends on the nature of the problem. If the nature of the problem is minor one, simple one, micro one, then few people will affected when the decision not really, if it is not a better decision. But when you evaluate the alternative, if the decision is affected by many people, macro decisions, like government policies, like agriculture-based decisions, like medicine-based decisions, like if the decision is macro, if it is having a macro effect, so you have to be careful. But when we talk about this business corporate sector, there are different techniques to evaluate these alternatives. We will be discussing those techniques like NPV, net present value, break-even analysis, target costing, pricing, budgeting. We have different course of techniques to evaluate alternatives. We will be discussing few, not all the techniques, but few techniques according to the availability of the time with you in this course. Then once you evaluate, you can select number 1, number 2, number 3 based on your evaluation, right? Number 1, number 2, number 3. Then you implement the decisions. You take the first decision. So you may discuss within your board of directors before implementing, depending on the investment, degree of investment of the proposal, maybe department level, maybe board level, maybe top management level. So then you implement the decision. When you implement the decision, of course, you have the actual results. You have the actual data. So actual data, of course, you have to remember again financial accounting. That's what I'm telling you here. The actual data you are taking from the management, not the management accounting, actual data you are taking from the financial accounting. And you have the plan data. You compare actuals with the financial or the plan or the estimate data. Then you may look at the differences. We call deviation. We call it deviations. Maybe you want to keep the cost of a product, manufacturing cost of this calculator or the mobile phone, say $50. You want to complete this product at $50 or ₹50. Now you will realize the actual cost is 60. So you see that your target is 50 rupees, but you will end up with 60, which is 10 rupees negative deviation. So thereby you will think again, you discuss with the people, you investigate, you collect data. Why 10 rupees more? Where we can improve? What are the non-value adding activities we perform? Are there any wastage of producing this product? Are there any labor wastage? Are there any raw material wastage? Are there any machine wastage, idle time? Are there many unnecessary overheads? So likewise, you evaluate. That's the control process. So thereby control process include three things. What are three things? You have the actual results, you have the plan data, and you compare. Actual versus target, you compare plans. You identify the variances, especially the negative variances. Then you investigate those negative variances and find out some response to divergences from plan. So you just take immediate action to eliminate the negative variances. Again, you go to planning. You start. So thereby decision making is a process. You see that process method. You see here the last step, again going to the search for alternatives, and again if there is a problem here, you implement it. So thereby it's a kind of a process. Even you may think about updating or changing the objectives. So you can put an arrow here even, right? So thereby that is the decision making process. What I want to communicate to you is that in a decision making process, we are trying to be much more scientific. We will be much more towards scientific, not ad hoc. Not ad hoc. Ad hoc means without information, you just take the decision. මට මේක කරන්න ඕන. මම තමයි මේක ලොක්කා. මේ විදියට මේක කරොත් හොඳයි කියලා I feel. That is ad hoc. That is a kind of decision, but not the decision process what we are discussing here. In the decision making process, you have to remember always we are scientific. Scientific means we take all our evaluation, all our decision based on information available, collected. We evaluate the information. Based on available information, when we discuss it and evaluate the alternatives, when we select one alternative, that is called a decision-making process. Is it clear? Okay. We don't focus on ad hoc decision. We always focus on systematic way of making decisions. All right. Shall we go to the next one? Okay. Then factors affecting management accounting. So what factors affecting you when you are in the university? What factors affecting when you were in the school? What factors affected when you at home? Affecting means influencing. Now, when you are at home, maybe a particular period, say school time period, when you really attending, when you were really going to school, when you are at home, what factor factors who influence you. You can remember your mother, parent, brother, Sia, Archie. Now you are in the university. So now think about the degree of influencing the same people. Not only the people, remember, we have the culture, we have the values, we are in a political system, we have the economic power, all those variables influence. So thereby, always variables influence, right? So under management accounting, you know what is the management accounting? What is management accounting? Management accounting is producing information for improving business operations. Okay. Management accounting is providing information to implement or design strategies. Better organizations. Management accounting is help to make your organization better tomorrow. Is it? Yes. So what factors affecting? Can you think? Just give me, I will give you another 3 minutes, just write very briefly. You can put the factors, whatever factors you want. I will give you not 2 minutes, of course. Yes, 3 minutes, no problem. Just put me, send me a chat, your answer into the chat box. Yes. Never mind whether you are giving me 1 or 2, don't worry. You just send me, tell me. Yes, very good. Managers, technology, very good. Technology. Technology is always influencing innovation, very good. When you really now think about the Uber or Uber Eats, whatever, it's a kind of new product. Global competition, organizational policies, yes, organization policies, global competition, social factors, yes, why not? Social factors, very good. Economic conditions, yes, economic condition of the organization, economic condition of the country, you can economic condition of the branch, economic condition of your organization, your department, your division, yes, economic condition, good. Social factors means expectations. In certain cases, you are not allowed to tack in a certain way. You have to fact in a different way. Social expectations, social factors. What else? One more minute. Anything? Yes. Global trend. Maybe balance scorecard. Maybe global trends, global competition again. Organizational practices. Yes. Organizational practices. The culture, organizational culture practices. The way you perform. Now, when you think about your house and your friend's house, the practices in those two houses totally different. Certain practices may be common, but certain practices may be different. Their eating time, eating habits, for example, sleeping time, arrangement, customer view and change of market. Yes, market factors, very good. Customers' views, expectations, exactly. Market trends. What else? Yes, now time is over. Thank you. Environmental factors, yes, environmental factors. When you have a factory, whether how you can dispose, how you can really remove your garbage. So environmental factors also important. We will discuss those things in detail, but shall we stop and shall we come back to the things? So I think all your answers are correct. We have what we have. What we want to, what I want to communicate to is that when we ask such question, there is no specific answer. You can write anything. You can write anything. Why? Because management accounting is taken place in the environment. අපි හුදකලා කූඩු වෙලා හිර කූඩුවක ඉන්නවා නම් තමයි factors limit වෙන්නේ. But when we are in an open environment, open system, if our system is open to the environment, so there is no a particular n number of factors. You can list many factors. You can list a big many number of items. But for the discussion purposes, we have identified these important variables. So what I want to communicate to you is that this is not the ready-made answer, but these factors, what we have listed in our slide, much more important, significant. So there are other factors as well. Yes, but shall we discuss? Shall we look at these factors? Global competition, of course, you know the meaning of global competition. Changing product life cycle, like our life cycle, like your life cycle. We have a life cycle for the product. We have a life cycle for the organization. We have a life cycle for the business. You can remember your life cycle. You went to school, Montessori, then grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then O-level, A-level, after A-level, now university. So you may think about your age 1 to 0 to 5, 5 to 10. Likewise, you may talk about your life cycle based on your experience. So therefore, life cycle is important. So when the life cycle, when there are different stages, your behavior is different. So thereby, like in a business organization, depending on the different stages, the life cycle stages, our strategies, operations, management style, management accounting information will vary. Then advanced, of course, advanced manufacturing technologies we have, maybe computer aided technologies. Always when you go to Toyota company, Nissan, big companies, even what do you call laptop producing, Asus, whatever the Dell companies, when you go, you see that robots, systems, IT related integrated systems are operating. Human involvement is very low. Advanced manufacturing technologies. The impact of information technology, especially the IT. IT means the telecommunication on the internet related matters. Environmental and social, I think you listed this. Sustainability, triple bottom line movements. Pressure to adopt higher standards of ethical behavior. The society is influencing. Now you see that in the country, people realize that the stolen money, corruption, this corrupted society, they have realized now. Now everybody accept that the present government is not really, efficient and effective as we expected. Corrupted. So the pressure to adopt higher standards, maybe ISO, maybe certain accounting standards, maybe certain practices, maybe rules, regulations coming in. So we need to, when you go to the developed countries, for example, Singapore. So the garbage dumping is standardized, ethical. Everyone accepted that. No one is putting garbage on the road. No one is putting garbage where they want. There are places. Even when you go by train, there are certain practices. Those are influenced by the society, pressure from different sources. Then deregulation and privatization. Deregulation means really what do you call neoliberalism, where you open the markets, there is no barriers, capital movements, money transactions, investments, no barriers, deregulations. And privatizations. Privatization means, private sector people are, making investments for different markets in different industries and converting public sector owned organizations into private sector. Then focus on value creation. So you focus on value creations. If that is not, if any process, any activity not contributing to value creation, we don't do that activity. Customer orientation. So those are really this thing. And classic example value creation is that you see that Honda motorcycle earlier, we had a very heavy bike. Now Bajaj Honda is, I think, very simple, less heavy, what do you call, customer oriented product, value creation. So you understand unnecessary activities, unnecessary things, you remove it. That's called value creation. Then the customer orientation. Okay. Then we will the global competitions. You can understand when the global competition is getting, when for example, when a particular supply is producing at a low cost, low price, of course, we have to produce the same item at a at a low price. Now, for example, if you look at our Matiwada industry, certain industries in Sri Lanka, for example, maybe paper industry, maybe clothing industry, all those industries collapse because of we were unable to compete with the global suppliers, maybe quality wise, maybe product wise, maybe process wise. So we were unable, maybe even timing. So their production throughput time, you input your output, the time taken to convert the product, final raw material into final product, if you take more time, you are not in a position to compete with the global players. If they are producing with a lesser time, so we are far behind. So thereby global competition may have a big impact on management accounting. So we will look at the change product life cycle next. You see, this is the product life cycle. There are different stages like your lifetime. We have the development stage. This is the design stage. Then we introduce this point, we commercialize. I think you can remember you talk about research and development standard, R&D standard. So this is the place research and development taken place in this product development. Then of course introduction, you commercialize the product, you introduce the product to the market. You see that when you introduce the product, your sales sales increasing when time takes. So you sales increase, that is introduction phase. Then the growth, of course, you see the slope of the curve is little bit deeper. I think deeper in this make it ready. So we call it growth phase. Then maturity, slow growth, but you get the peak sales, the maximum sales. Then again coming down, we call it decline. So you see that When you look at your profit from the financial accounting perspective, profit, here we are loss making, here again you are loss making, but here you just started to make profit, and growth rate, profit, and maturity rate, you maximize the profit, again your profit component will zero, decline stage. That is the product changing product life cycle. You see that here you don't have a product. Here you are just developing the product. Okay, but this is a kind of investment. But we don't count this as a manufacturing cost. Product development cost, we don't consider as a manufacturing cost. Right? In history, you see that, but the product development cost would be a huge amount, big amount. And also, I will come to that part later. So what I want to communicate to you is that in the introduction phase, you need more information. Since you are going to the market, you need more external information. You need competitors' behavior. You need competitors' strategy. You need competitors' cost structure. You need competitors' business operation strategies and techniques. And you should know what is happening in the market. So on the introduction stage, those kind of information, I think, much more important. By getting those information, you may improve the product. You may change your strategies. So thereby you will be able to get the growth. Even in the growth stage, you should monitor the performance. You have to evaluate your product. Likewise, I think your life cycle will have an impact on management accounting. A product life cycle is the period from initial expenditure on research and development to when support to customer with withdrawn. That's the description of product life cycle. Traditional MA has given less focus on product development and disposal stages before and after the manufacturing and use. The traditional management accounting ignored this product development stage and this stage, really. Okay. Coming back to the change in product life cycle, it's a new concept. You see that little bit complicated chart. Management accounting is now changing to embrace. Here it has to be to embrace the full product lives through the techniques such as life cycle analysis, target costing, environment management accounting, circular economy principles. Life cycle analysis. You look at the total life of the life cycle of the product, not only the introduction, but you think about development stage also. Development stage, production, growth, maturity, decline, after that. So you consider that. Target costing. You need to understand what the customer is ready to pay for that. You can't just think about the prices. For example, you see that now oil prices, they just decided without thinking about the customer's bargaining power, purchasing power. If you look at most of the product, Chinese product, most of the Japanese product, why they are popular? Because they think about the particular target groups purchasing power. I think you learn in economics, one factor which is influencing demand is the Kraya Shakti, ability to purchase. That's why budget package is coming. That's why data is coming as bundle. Rupial 50 data, Rupial 20 data, 30 data, 50 data, different packages based on your ability you can buy. What they are doing, they are making the demand. They are creating the demand. So thereby target costing, we will discuss what target costing is under pricing chapter 7. Target costing will help you to attract create demand. සල්ලි තියෙන මිනිස්සුන්ට අතේ තියෙන ගානට පඩුව හදන ක්‍රමය තමයි target cost. Then environmental management, accounting and circular economy. I will explain you by using this particular chart, but little bit confused. You see that natural resources are there. That means the environment. From the natural resources, you extract of raw material. You take the raw material. gas වලින් වෙන්න පුළුවන් මොනවා හරි පරිසරයේ තියෙන දේවල් වලින් අපි raw material අරගෙන අපි product හදනවා design කරනවා දැන් සමහර බෙහෙත් pharmaceutical items you produce නේ අපි කඩදාසි gas වලින් හදන්නේ නේද ඒතර design and production you design and you product එක design කරලා produce කරලා what you do is you produce your production introduced to the market by packaging and distributions. Ne, උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් ඔබ පෙන්නයි තෙල් ගෙනෙල්ලා සිපෙට්කෝ එක හරහා නේද පෙට්‍රෝලියම් එක තෙල් ඩිස්ට්‍රිබියුට් කරනවා. ඔබ මේ රටේ මොනවා හරි හදනවා නම් ටයර් හදනවා නම් ඔබ මේ රටේ මොනවා හරි හදනවා නම් අපි දන්නවා ජිනසේනලා හෙවි ටයර් හදන ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒ හෙවි ටයර් මේ රටේ තියෙන අමුද්‍රව්‍ය රබර් ප්‍රයෝග කරගෙන ඒ ටයර් හදලා අපි දන්නවා ඒක විදේශ රටවල් වලට යවනවා මාකටිං කරනවා ඩිස්ට්‍රිබියුට් කරනවා you can understand packaging and distribution. So now if you look at certain garment factories now they are packaging, they are making the packaging very simple, not much more expensive packaging, right? Anyway, you can understand the meaning of natural resources. උදාහරණ වශයෙන් හිතන්න රබර් ගන්නවායි කියලා කියන්නේ රබර් අරගෙන රබර් වලකින් ටයර් හදනවායි කියලා හිතන්න. ඒවා ටයර් විකුණනවා. එතකොට වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? use and maintenance. එතකොට අපි මේවා පාවිච්චි කරනවා. People in the country, society. So once we use it, what we do is we බලනවා ඒවා එළියට දාන්න. අපි කියන එකට disposal කියලා මේ. disposal සමහර ඩිස්පෝසල් තියෙනවා අපිට පුළුවන් රිකවරි කරන්න රීප්‍රොසෙස් රීයුස් කරන්න ඔබට මතක ඇති ඔබේ ගම් වලට ඇවිල්ලා ප්ලාස්ටික් කඩදාසි යකඩ එකතු කරන් යනවා ඇයි එකතු කරන් යන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒවා තැන් වලට දීලා රීප්‍රොසෙස් කරනවා නේද එතකොට ඒක කතාවක් නැවත වතාවක් ඒවා රීප්‍රොසෙස් කරලා අපි දැන් ප්ලාස්ටික් බොටල් නම් ඒවා රීප්‍රොසෙස් කරලා නැවත වතාවක් අපිට ඩිසයින් කරලා ප්‍රොඩක්ෂන් කරන්න පුළුවන් අපිට එහෙම කරන්න බැරි ඒවා තියෙනවා නම් අපි කියනවා ඒවට ඩම්ප් කරනවා ලෑන්ඩ් ෆිලිං වලට ඔය මොනවා හරි වගුරු බිම් වලට කුණු කඳු තියෙන තැන් වලට තමයි ලෑන්ඩ් ෆිලිං කියලා කියන්නේ නේද ඉන්සිනරේෂන් ලෑන්ඩ් ෆිලිං ඒතර අපි ගිහින් දානවා ඒතර අපි දන්නවා රටේ අපේ වේස්ට් ගත්තොත් මේ ඩිස්පෝසල් ගොඩක් ගත්තොත් අපි කරන්නේ ලෑන්ඩ් ෆිලිං කරන එක තමයි කොහේ හරි කන්දකට කොහේ හරි තැනකට ගිහින් දාන එක ඒක හොඳ දෙයක් නෙවෙයි අපේ රටේ 100ට මං හිතන්නේ 65කට ප්‍රමාණයක් කුණු ලෑන්ඩ් ෆිලිං වලට යන්නේ 35කට වගේ ප්‍රමාණයක් තමයි මේ රීප්‍රොසෙස් වලට යන්නේ. එතකොට ඊළඟ කාරණේ තමයි design and production කරනකොට you see that certain materials are becoming as garbage. දැන් ඔබ දන්නවා ඇති විනිෂ්පාදනය කරනකොට 10ක් design we හදනවා අපි සහල් අපි we කොටනකොට මෝල්ඩ් වලින් we හාල් බවට පත් කරනකොට 10 ඇති. ඒතර 10 what you can do are there any reuse මොනවා හරි කරලා අපිට ඒවා මොනවා හරි જાතියකට පරිවර්තනය කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒක වෙන පරමාර්ථයකට පාවිච්චි කරනවා. අපිට ඒවා පුළුවන් ද වෙන මොකක් හරි කටයුත්තකට පාවිච්චි කරන්න කියන එක තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. ඒකෙන් ආයිත් ඒක ගිහලා ආයෙත් ඩිස්පෝසල් වෙන එකක් තමයි මේ වෙන්නේ. ඒතර නැවත වතාවක් මේ කියන්නේ මිනිස්සු ඒව අරගෙන නිෂ්පාදනය කරලා කරන කතා. ඒතර මේකෙන් මේ chart එකෙන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? changing product life cycle කියලා කියන්නේ අපි ඉතරේම දැන් කතා කරන්නේ we are not talking about our business only. Our business has a link to the nature. Our business has link to the society. ඔබට මතක ඇති රතු කැනලි ගඟට අර වතුරවට ගාබේජ් රිලීස් කරලා කිසියම් සමාගමක් නේ මුළු ගඟම මුළු ඒ පැත්තේ මිනිස්සුන්ට වතුර බොන්න බැරි වෙලා මුළු පරිසරයම විනාශ වුණා නේ. ඒතර ඔබේ බිස්නස් එක ප්‍රොඩක්ට් හදන තමයි මතු පිටින් අර ග්ලව්ස් හදපු සමාගම. ඒකේ ගාබේජ් ටික වේස්ටේජ් එක මහ පොළොවට ඇතැරියාම මහ පොළොවේ ලිං වලට තියෙන උල්පත් වලට අවුලක් වෙනවා. ඒතර ඔබ හිතන්න ඔබ ග්ලව්ස් හැදුවට වැඩක් නෑ. නැචරල් එන්වයරන්මන්ට් එක කියන්නේ රටේ තියෙන රබර් පාවිච්චි කරලා මිනිස්සුන්ට රැකියා දීලා you are providing employments and you earn money and you have a big contribution to the society. That's true, but appearance. But if your garbage wastage, if you release to the environment, if you are making any harm to the environment, not. So the management accounting is concerned those aspects as well. So thereby we call it environmental management accounting and circular economy principle. Circular economy principle කියන්නේ garbage අපි පුළුවන් තරම් prevent කරන්න බලනවා, ආයෙව reprocess කරන්න බලනවා. අන්තිම point එක බැරිම නම් විතරයි අපි dispose කරන්නේ. Prevent, reuse, process, dispose. ඒකයි circular economy. Okay. So I think that's about the change in product life cycle. So what I want to communicate to you is that now we will not look at our organization itself. We will consider, when you look at the management accounting, our organization and the society as a whole. So we look at the broader picture. We look at the helicopter view. We look at the bird view. දැන් කුරුල්ලෙක් අහස පියාසන කරනකොට කුරුල්ලට ලොකු අපසරියක් පේනවා. හෙලිකොප්ටර් එකක ඉඳන් අපි බලනකොට අපිට ලොකු අපසරියක් පේනවා. නේද? අපි ලෑන්ඩ් කරාම බිමට බෑවහම අපිට පේන්නේ අපි ඉන්න තැන විතරයි, අපේ ආයතනය විතරයි. But what we are trying to tell you is that this changing product life cycle open our eyes, look at the organization from a holistic, in a broader view, not as just producing items. Are you clear? Okay. Then, of course, change in life cycle further. Certain life cycle, of course, short. Certain life cycle, of course, long. Now, if you look at the technology-related items, technology-related products, for example, mobile phone, applications, different softwares, all these products are technology driven, so thereby they are IT driven, thereby their life cycle is very short. But certain product, for example, if you think about your motorcycle, so you see that you are using it, certain equipment in your house, maybe your TV, little bit, your lifetime is little bit more, but even your TV's lifetime, if new technology is used, yeah, lifetime will become very short. So thereby it depends on the product. Then rice a long lifetime, rice and the bread pang. Now when you look at the bread and rice, due to global competition, due to new technology, you get diversity of breads. ලොකු පාන් තියෙනවා, රස වෙන flavors පාන් තියෙනවා, mix කරපුවා තියෙනවා. You get diversity of breads. Even with the new technology, agriculture says to which a new technology, you get different, rice. You see, but as a product, the whole, I think there's a long life cycle. There is a dramatic decline in product life cycle because of global competition. You see that now, earlier when we want to go somewhere, we call a taxi. Taxi එකට call කරලා තමයි අපි ගෙන්න ගන්න. නේද? ඔබට මතක ඇති අර වාහනවල taxi වල numbers ගහලා, 888 වගේ අර numbers ගහලා ඒවට තමයි අපි call කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට taxi එනවා. But with the new technology, for example, Uber and Pick Me and stuff like that, because of those software, what happened? Calling taxi වලට මොකද උනේ? ඒ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක outdated. එතකොට ටැක්සි තියාගෙන hiring සපයපු ආයතන ඉවරයි දැන්. ඒගොල්ලන්ට තවදුරටත් පවතින්න බෑ. දැන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. දැන් ඉන්ඩිවිඩුවල් ආයතන තමයි ටැක්සි තියෙන්නේ. නේද? ඇප් එක තියෙනවා, Tamanට order එක එනවා, accept කරනවා නම් නැත්නම් reject කරනවා. You see the global competition, impact of global competition to the taxi or the hiring vehicle වලට වෙච්ච දේ. Technological innovation, same thing. Uber is a classic example for technological innovation and online purchasing, online bank transfer. You know, a lot of things. Uber, even even you see, Undian is a new way of doing business. You see, what it had an impact on banking sector, especially in Sri Lanka. We don't know whether there is a political back or not for the Undian. That's a different story. But it has an impact on this. The sophisticated customer demands. So customer is asking not a one thing. They are asking a bundle of, package of complicated. When you are applying, when you are buying a motor vehicle, you see, I need this and this and that. I need this color. I don't want that color, this and that. So complicated, sophisticated. I need within 2 days. I can't wait 5 days. I need within 2 days. So those are called sophisticated customer demands. And customer is much more informative and much more powerful. So thereby, it has an impact on management accounting. You need information. You need information. For example, in the supermarket, there are systems to capture the facial expression of the customers. When a customer takes the product, when he or she looks at the product, certain feelings, certain expressions can be observed when you observe the facial expression. එනිසා ගොඩක් සුපර්මාකට් වල දියුණු කැමරා හයි කරලා තියෙනවා කස්ටමර්ස් ලාගේ ඒව බලන්න. ඒතකොට කට්ටියක් ඉඳගෙන මාකටිං ටීම් එක ඉඳගෙන ඒ එක්ස්ප්‍රෙෂන් බලනවා පැකේජින් එක මෙයාට අවුල්ද තියලා තියෙන අවුල්ද මේකට ඇට්‍රැක්ටිව්ද මේක දැක්කම සතුටු වෙනවද මිල බලලා යාගේ මූණ කොහමද something like that. So that is important. That's a kind of things. The complete ඒ වගේ විදිහට management accounting වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. To complete successfully, companies must speed up the rate at which they introduce new products. So here, since the life cycle is becoming shorter and shorter, what happened due to new technology and due to global innovation, sophisticated demand? What you have to do? You have to do research and development. You have to get more information. Then only you can change the product. For example, you see, you compare the Harishchandra. Harishchandra is producing traditional product which has a long life cycle. Traditional noodles. But Raigam is producing different flavor, different kind of noodles. Why? Their accounting information system is more powerful than the accounting information or the information system in the Harishchandra. So you need to analyze, you need to understand the competitors' behavior, market trends, market behavior, customer needs, social change, value changes, so cultural changes. So you have to understand those things. Okay. Then, of course, changing product life cycle continue. You see that product life cycle phases මෙහි යන්න cost incurred එක වැඩි වෙනවා. But committed cost එකක් තියෙනවා. gap එක වැඩි. ඒ නිසා මේවා තීරුම් ගන්න ඕන කියන කාරණේ තමයි මේකෙන් කියන්නේ. It has an impact. The impact of IT, the use of IT support business activities increase. E-commerce, e-business. I don't think I should discuss more. Internet commerce. E-commerce has impact. You can order whatever the items you want now. No need to go do physically visit. I think you can remember how we ordered the items during this COVID seasons. During those time, how we orders. Then advancement in IT, ERP systems, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, machine learning, blockchains, all these, and you can look at certain videos. I hope that you may visit those videos. The impact of IT continued. Again, accounting and automations, another video. Accountant must explain their roles and risk possible redundancies. Now, what you have to do is when you use IT, what happens is risk also there. Higher the return, higher the risk. So thereby, in management accounting, discussion of assessment of different risk is also a part of the subject. Accountant should have a role of advisors, internal consultant to the business. Now, accountant cannot do their work as experts, so they need support of IT people. They need external internal consultants to interpret data, maybe to IT related matters. So accountants are now really get the help of advisors or consultants. Again, you can look at the videos. For that also there is a video you can look at. Focus on customer satisfaction and new management approaches. Now people talking about focusing cost. That's why some people are telling that public sector organizations are inefficient, because when you go to the public sector, they are not much more customer oriented. But when you go to a private sector organization, maybe private hospital, I think their appearance, the way they talk, when you go to the international school and the local school, you see total different. In the international school, every day morning, students are really, welcome by the administration. But not like, so that's we feel that maybe we think that's the quality, or the that's how we people look at. Anyway, cost efficiency, quality control, time management, innovation, continuous improvements are much more important. That's called continuous improvement. Okay, quality control, TQM, quality reporting, customer response times, on-time delivery, eliminating non-value added activities. All these will be discussed latter part of the subject. Then the changing competitive environment focus customer satisfaction. So when you look at the customer satisfaction, it has 4 variables. One is the key success factor: cost, quality, time, innovation. So when you look at the cost efficiency, you have to look at the quality, time, and innovation. වෙලාවට බඩුව දුන්නට වැඩක් නැහැ. වෙලාවට quality එකට බඩුව දුන්නට ඒත් වැඩක් නැහැ. නව උත්පාදනකම බඩුව දිගටම දෙන්න බෑ. You need to change the product, modification, new product development is essential. Customer improvement, continuous improvement. You need to improve continuously. Otherwise, you see the old system, Food City Channel, and now their lighting system, the way they keep the items in the racks, all different, and the way they display. Even banking, you go to the banking, so just look at their way of introducing new accounts, different. Continuous improvement. Employee empowerment means you are making people power, giving them right decision making power, giving them improving. So you look at empower employee means you're asking employee to solve your problem. Don't bring problems to the management. That means you use your brain, you use your creativity, you use your innovation, you use your skills to solve the problem in the factory or the floor level or the operation levels. So you heard about the quality circle in garment factories, in these Korean companies, Japanese companies. If you are really exposure to those companies, you may have the experience about quality circle, that is employee empowerment. Then total value chain analysis, you look at the value, not the just short-term expectation. You are just creating a value to the customers. Your price is for this value creation. Okay, change in the competitive environment, focus on customers and new management approaches. As I told you, keys. So this particular diagram is explained by this chart: key success factors, then continuous improvement, employee empowerment, value chain analysis, social responsibility, and corporate ethics. So what we did was, so far we discussed this particular factors, right? You have to remember, we are here. We are discussing those things, one by one, little bit. Okay. Then triple bottom line, give me 2-3 minutes, I will finish it off. Triple bottom line concepts is also influencing. Triple bottom line means 3 P's: people, planet, profit. People means you look at the social variables dealing with community, education, equity, social resources, health, well-being, and quality of life. That's, you are looking at the people as human being, not as machine. You look at the employees as human being. You look at the customers as human being. So that is people aspect. Profit means, to continue your business, to ensure your survival, to have a growth, you need certain amount of surplus. That is profit. Economic variable dealing with the bottom line of the cash flow. You should have enough cash flow. In economics, you know that if you are not having recovering the variable cost, can you remember? If you are not recovering your variable cost, as per the economics theory, you are not producing. So profit. The planet is, what is the role, what is the impact you are making on the society, planet, environment variables. Environmental variables related to natural resources, water, air quality, energy, conservations, and lands. So when you combine these three, you get sustainable, bearable, equitable, viable. So we want sustainable, businesses. When you say sustainable, it has to be equitable. මිනිස්සු සූරා කෑමක් නොවෙන්න ඕන. මිනිස්සු සූරා කෑමක් නොවෙන්න ඕන, equitable, සාධාරණ වෙන්න ඕන කියන එක. bearable කියලා කියන්නේ මිනිස්සුන්ටයි පරිසරයටයි දරා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතා සියල්ල සපුරුවට වෙන්නේ නැහැ planet එක විනාශ කරලා. ඒක පරිසරයේ ගස් ටික ඔක්කොම කපාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා හෝටල් හැදුවට වැඩක් නැහැ. පරිසරය කපාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා හෝටල් හැදුවාම මිනිස්සුන්ට එබැයි ඉන්න AC දාගෙන ඉන්න සෝසේ ඉන්න පුළුවන්. But what will happen to the society? Air, water, natural resources. ගම් වතුර එනවද නැද්ද? නේද? මිනිස්සුන්ට බොන්න දැන් උමාවේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ කේස් එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවද? bearable නැහැ. මේක bearable වෙන්න. ඊළඟට මේ profit එකත් දෙන්න මේ planet එක නිකන් viable වෙන්න. මේ තුනේ එකතු ආවොත් තමයි sustainable කියලා කියන්නේ. Integrations of convergence of management accounting practices. Management accounting practices can be observed at macro and micro level. Macro, you see that we will discuss in ABC costing, ABC, TQM, continuous improvements. Those are macro, generally developed concepts. මේවා ලෝක වටේ ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා ලෝක වටේ පිළිගන්න discourses. මේවා මිනිස්සු ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. Micro, behavioral patterns related to management accounting information is actually used in organization. How you use the information is available. How you use them. උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් 21 වෙනි අප්‍රේල් 21 ප්‍රහාරය, පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය, information was available. How we use it. That's the thing. So thereby, convergence, even management accounting information, if the information is available, if you are not using it, it's a disaster. Convergence of management is that the management account practices, designs, and information generally do not differ across countries. Again, හැම රටකම මේවා සමාන ආකාරයෙන් භාවිතා කරනවා කියන එක තමයි convergence කියන එකෙන් තේරෙන්නේ. Diverse drivers of convergence includes global competition, information technology, standardized global consultancy firms, and use of global textbooks and teaching. At the micro level, accounting information may be used in different ways due to influence of different national and local cultures. Different cultures, political, sanskritic, what do you call, cultural matters, political matters, social matters here will vary how you use the accounting information. functions of management, of course, functions of management, basically, uh, uh, what we'll do is we will discuss the rest part of the slides next week. Not next week, Friday. There are 4 or 5 slides. I thought I can finish it, but I was unable. There are 2-3 slides. If I complete it, I will do it quickly, but better we will take it next week. By spending 10 minutes, I will be able to finish it. Okay. Any question? If you have any question, I can answer. Otherwise, we will wind up the lecture. Yes, thank you. Then shall we close, wind up the lecture? Thank you very much for being with me. Yes, thank you. Thank you all. I will stop.